So I have the drawer ready, like cleaned up and to the best I could. Uh, so you remember there was a crack, there was a faulty piece of side panel, which had a crack from before I started my dovetail. When I glued it and it didn't show up, but unfortunately that has slightly widened. I don't think it's going to. Let me show you. I don't think it's going to get any worse. Not sure how good it is visible, because now this dovetail joint on either side is now holding it together. It should not go. So I have put some thin, like a super thin super glue and planed it. Looks all good. Hopefully that's not a problem. It is what it is. I have to just go by it. Now the next thing is I have to put the plywood base. There is a blob of glue right on those corners that is going to prevent that plywood from sliding in. Let me get rid of that. That's done. So important thing for me is to measure the exact length of plywood that I need. So couple of scrap pieces that I just found from my bin. Hopefully this is going to work out for me. So I put it here, extend it, stretch it out. So that's the length, that bottom portion. This is a 16th over 31. let me remember that 16th over 31. I'm trying to take that measurement and see whether that this is tight here. Is getting loose, this thing. Let me this thing is good that I have now. Take another measurement. I mean, if in doubt, I will probably take the bigger of the, like I will cut my plywood slightly longer. This 32nd over 31. So I'll do that. Actually, short end is easier because I don't have to be accurate. I can cut it to. I'll take the measurement of my actual this thing. I think it should work for me if I have like 16 and a half. Let me see. As long as that fits. $16 and a half is fine. Does the orientation of plywood matter? I don't know really. My understanding is that plywood is like cross grain, long grain, something like that. So let me try to find that plywood. I think this is the factory because I see the numbers written. So I will use that as my gauge. I'll plane this side a little bit. That's it. That's it. Now this mark on the back side telling that this is 90 degrees, like I have planed that. So slide it to the line, hold it here, then I slide this ruler up to my square. How good is it? It's very good, very accurate. Now I do see this as a cross grain, so when I cut it, there is a good chance there is going to be just trying to eyeball that. Let's see how it goes. Little bit of binding, trusted rag in a can oiler. Don't want to be cutting on my table. This is not the best quality plywood. I do have like a Baltic birch plywood, but that is thinner, so I could always replace this plywood in the future. So I am to my depth. See? Very straight cut. Now, how do I clamp this? Clamping at an odd angle. I'll use the same saw which I will let's see with that knife wall. Yeah, at least it's I could have created a parallel knife wall on the other side to prevent. What I'm saying is that let's do that to validate the understanding. So you see, so I had a knife wall on this side, so it is clean on this side, but other side it's splitting. So I don't want to waste that piece of plywood. So what I will do, or rather I want to make sure that I can salvage as much of that or prevent as much of that plywood from getting damaged. So I will just put this in there. I'll put a parallel like knife wall to that. I'll see how much of it helps in just checking I'm not cutting into my table or anything. What is so yeah, little bit of chip out here because I was veering against, like, away from my knife, so that is where that blowout was there. And here this is wonderful. So if you can see here, so this is like bad, like on the top of it where I didn't have the knife wall. Then I built the knife wall. There is chip, but it's all breaking off near the knife wall. So if I just remove that, you see that crisp line is still there. So cross grain even with a rip saw using the Paul Sellers knife wall technique just works fine with a rip saw. The point I'm trying to make is that my saws are all like, I am learning to sharpen my own saws. So this is a saw I sharpened in rip pattern, which is the easiest. So it just works fine for me. I'm going to have a crosscut saw sometime soon, but just to learn. But for my thing, I don't think it's necessary right now. Okay, little bit of cleanup, even though like this thing is going to like hide inside the grooves. I want to do a cleanup, and then I want to also make sure that I'm right up to that line. Feels good to the hand now, so this is fine. This one I need to be right up against that knife wall, so let me the quality of this plywood is not very good, so we'll see. Probably I'm going to replace this when I have some good plywood at hand. I don't want to buy another piece of plywood just for this yet. sanding the edges just to for the ease of handling, so that I don't get splinters. I seem to be getting a start, but it's holding at some point. I don't want this, no reason for me to keep it super tight, but this is all fine. Looks good. So there is a protrusion at the back. I don't mind it as long as it fits my unit, because it's just like gives more strength, like prevents that, it will prevent that splitting uh, when I put those screws. Let me give it a try on my actual unit. If it doesn't fit, I will take off, like saw some of the part. I think it fits just fine. Just fine. Like if you can see, like the front portion, there is still like a quarter of an inch gap. So I will, unless like the my runner happy with the progression. Okay, see you next time.